Hello everyone and welcome to a very special unboxing video today. Yes, we have the Street Fighter The Miniatures game for 2 to 6 players. It is from Jasco Games and it was made by Angry Joe, which is a very famous and very popular YouTuber. So let us see exactly what we have here. So first off, we will go through exactly what we had arrived through. So first off, we have the stretch goals, which, to lift this up, it's all quite heavy. And you can see that we have a whole bunch of extra characters there. We shall be going through that. We also have, this is the stickers of the destroyed car from Street Fighter 2, obviously the car game. So, not exactly sure how that works, but that came separate. So we'll just have to see how that all goes together. We of course have the main game, which we will be looking at first. This is our big first one. We also have the boss expansion, which comes M. Bison and Akuma. Of course, two very iconic bosses. Although I wouldn't mind having Gil because I really like Third Strike, but hey ho. We have the Street Fighter Alpha Warrior's Dream expansion pack, also known as Street Fighter Zero in Japan. We have the Street Fighter 4 expansion pack. The Third Strike Fight for the Future expansion pack. And last but not least, the Street Fighter 5. Obviously, of course, the newest game, and each one of these expansions has characters that I think are exclusive to those games. So let us start off with the very first part, the Street Fighter Miniatures game. Obviously, we have to have the camera quite high up today, because these are quite big things, not the usual camera range that we are used to. So let's just take a look and see exactly what it says. 2 to 6 players, 14... ages 14 plus, as we check in camera to make sure it was all inside. So the side just says Street Fighter Miniatures game. I think the top and the bottom are exactly the same. Yep, same logo. And on the back, let us see exactly what the blurb says. So ages 14 plus versus 30 minutes, multi 15 minutes per player, 2 to 6 players, and we go right into it. So Street Fighter The Miniatures game is an exciting, high-quality, pre-painted miniatures board game that uses the Universal Tactics system. This system allows 2 to 6 players to simulate fights across Street Fighter's iconic roster, controlling their favourite characters, playing cards from 40-card character-specific battle decks, and rolling dice to determine attack and defense results. It has multiplayer modes including versus, free-for-all, and teams, stage maps with 3D destructible terrain, inspired by the video games, an innovative combat attack system, rewards smart play and hand management, use powerful super and ultra attacks for impressive finishes, and we also have the contents, which is 1 rulebook, Chun-Li, Ken, Ryu, Scat, Vega, Zangief, 252 cards, 6 player dials, 24 tokens, 8 battle dice, 1 double-sided game board, Martial Arts Dojo 3D terrain, Air Force Base 3D terrain, and here you just have, it says, includes 6 high-quality pre-painted miniatures, and it is Capcom, Jasco Games, and of course the Angry Joe Show. It says 0 to 3 sad onions, which is rather strange because it says 14 plus up here, so that's a contradiction. So let us get right into it, shall we? So I think the best way to open this is we shall use the scissors. We shall slice to the side and try not to damage the beautiful artwork. It's quite tight. I'll try this side. Just looking for a little bit of a hole so I can start, and then we can just work the rest over top. There goes the cellophane wrapping. No damage whatsoever. Just give it a little extra cut here. And there we go. So let's just see exactly what we have in store. Now, there won't be a tutorial, won't be any demos. We'll be doing that some point tomorrow, or possibly next week, depending on time. We'll be doing that in the shop, in Cared and Cosplay. So we'll look forward to that. But today we will be looking at all of the contents of these. So let us slide it open. It's really stuck in. I think they packed this with a vacuum or something. Also, the box is really nice. It is very well designed. A lot of beautiful artwork. There we are. And I believe this came all the way from America, and I am all the way in Scotland, so it is very, very nice. See? So you have a rulebook. I'm not going to go through the entire thing, but you can see that it's all fully coloured. Very nice, very beautiful artwork. Shows you very precise movements of how to use it, how to play the game, which is always very good. These will be the 3D standouts. So you just push these out and then clip the other part of the tree. Gives you a little 3D tree. And you can see there you have all of the little things, all the different power-up cards, all the little tag team things, and also the player, what's it called? Decides who's, you know, like who's first, who's second, who's third, fourth, etc. You know, play order, that's right. I knew I'd remember the word 5 seconds after I needed it. So let's see here. Here is more destructible environment, I think. Yes. These are the missile bases. Obviously some more Sakura trees, Sakura blossom trees. We have even more of these. You can see these are all fully coloured as well. They're quite thick cardboard as well, so you're going to get some good quality out of these. You know, they're not flimsy, not going to disintegrate after 2 or 3 uses. Should be around for a good long while. We'll just go through this. Oh, right. This is the actual board itself. Okay, well, this is the last one. Okay, now let us take a look at the board before we look at the rest of it. Low-key, the reason that I wanted to buy this, it is very expensive, so if you can get hold of it, be aware you're going to pay some money for it. But the real reason I wanted this was for the figures. But the fact it's a board game too makes me very, very happy, because it means it is something that I can get to use, especially in my shop. So this is the Sakura Blossom Tree. This is the, I think this is supposed to be like reuse stage. Oh, no, move the camera. You can see it's got little ponds down there, it's got a little bridge and things. And on the other side, this is dual-sided. You have the Air Force Base with Gael's theme, which goes with anything. It's a very, very good theme. If you've never heard it, please do look it up. You will not be disappointed. Right, let's see exactly what else we have in here. These presumably are the player counters, which seem to have just fallen to the side a little bit. So, as you can see here, this one here says I assume this is health. I assume once you get to 0, you're knocked out. It goes all the way up to 27, which is a lot of health. And this here will be your super meters, which you can have up to 12. So that's quite cool. And you should have 6 of these. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And as you can see, this is from the top of the dojo roof from Ryu's Street Fighter 2 map, I suppose. Stage. The stage, that's correct. Let's see. We also have the 8 dice in the nice cellophane map. And you can see these are not regular dice. They have attack symbols, fire symbols, defense symbols, which will all be explained in the game when we learn about that at some point tomorrow. And these here are they're little kind of cheat sheets for the players, so you don't have to have everything memorized. Each one gets one of these, set it next to you, and it tells you what everything is, so everyone's all on the same page and knows that was what was going on. Which is very nice that they do that. You have your decks. So this is the Zangief deck. You can see quite a lot of... I love the artwork they put on it. Quite a lot of cards in here, and they all say Street Fighter miniature card game in the back. Or the miniature game, not the miniature card game. Guess what I'm far too used to seeing. And then we also have Sagat and Vega. Vega, very interesting look for Vega. And they've all got their own separate health. Sagat has 26, Vega 25, Zangief 27. Zangief has all the health. Like the big, beefy tank that he is. And over here we have presumably the good guys. So this one here is of course Ryu. Oh, the Metsudoken. Ken with the Shinryuken. And Chun-Li with the Kikosho. Kikosho! Yes. Right, now let's get into the thing. The whole reason that I bought these in the first place, which is the miniatures, yes. Now these are about the size of amiibos, I am told. I'm going to take them out very gently. They seem to be stuck in there just a little bit. Right, we'll take a review later. Okay, no, they're all stuck in there pretty well. That's interesting. Right, maybe better to take the plastic part out here. What the hell is this? What the hell is that? Bit of cardboard. Well, guess we can discard that. Right, so anyway. In fact, Scat will also come out. Scat looks like he's like most of the way out already. There we go. So there he is, the Mountain of Muscle, the Emperor of Muay Thai, Sagat, in the middle of his tiger. Or that might be tiger cannon, because it looks like a big one. Looks like he's really powering that up. He's got the smoke under here, and obviously the fire coming out from the sides, and obviously the big, huge fireballs, if we can focus in on it. It's quite good detailing. Face is a tiny bit off, but not so much that you would notice nor care. The fireballs are see-through, they're translucent. The tiger is actually, I think, fully detailed, yeah. That's not a print, that's all moulded like that. He's got the very nice scar, very nice shading for the muscles. Very well done actually. Very, very nice. Quite happy with that. Let's see if we can take out the Rushing Tsar Wrestling, the Red Cyclone. Oh, we can't. You probably can pull them out if you're just a bit more forceful, but anyone that's watched this channel knows that I like to be quite delicate when I'm trying to take these guys out. I prefer not to damage them. Okay, let's just do that. So there is Vega, probably in the middle of the diamond row. Oh, the spikes. That. The spikes aren't particularly in a nice way. You can see that two of them have started moving together there, but this is quite a small little piece here. You can see what it's meant to be like if they were like this, if the camera would focus. Yeah, you can kind of see it's the middle one that seems to be a little bit of the issue there. But let's look at the rest of the figure. Muscle sculpt is very nice. Has the action motion there. Looks like he just came out of mid-roll. He has the big tattoo, the big dragon tattoo, or the snake tattoo even, all across the body. They've done the very nice, this is the Spanish bullfighting costume, because that's what Vega is, he's a Spanish bullfighter. And they've done the hair really well actually, that's really well done for the plait, yeah. And the mask, yeah, the mask and the face look really good on Vega. I'd say better than the face on Scat, but the Scat is also a very, very nice thing. And if we look, do we get the height comparison? Because Scat is meant to be in the 7-foot range, and he does look quite a bit taller than Vega when compared next to one another. So that is quite cool if they've done that. Let us try bringing out Chun-Li. I don't like how stuck in these characters are. This is worrying. This is my Xbox turning itself on because I'm standing too close to it. Right, so let's move you guys over here and we'll try lifting this up. Oops, lift this up. Okay, so this will allow us to give it a little bit of a push from the back and see if we can coax the characters out a little bit more. So we'll move these things over to the side and push these out here. Okay, so let us try. So as you can see, they've got quite a lot of intricate detail in them, which is why I'm being very, very careful when trying to bring them out. So it looks like Chun-Li's shoulder is kind of keeping her in here. The last thing I want to do is try and force one of these out and, you know, like her arm breaks off or something, which I'm trying to avoid that happening. Okay, we've got the base out, so it's just the shoulder that's a little bit of the issue. There we are. And there is Chun-Li. So they've given her this jump motion here, which is quite cool. It's got the smoke effects and the leg sweep over here. So yeah, that's quite nice. They've really done pretty well with the look of the costume. The face actually looks quite good on Chun-Li. Not terrible. Very nicely done. I think it's maybe the eyes, but of course the cat is supposed to have white eyes, so makes sense. The spike bracelets look really well done as well. They've got like the proportions of the figure really well. Chun-Li is meant to have quite muscular thighs in proportion to the rest of her body. As you can see, the arms are quite thin, legs are quite muscular. So yeah, no, I think that's a perfect iteration of Chun-Li. Very nice. Okay, let's try and go for the big Russian. So again, it looks like he's been locked in by the shoulders and by the base. So if we can just try and give him a little bit of a nudge. Also, this plastic is absolutely solid. This isn't flimsy in the slightest. So your figures will be nice and safe when they are being transported over to you. And here we have the part of the video where I'm struggling to get the thing out of the box. You see this in a lot of my videos, surprisingly. Okay, so we've got the shoulders out, so it's just a case of getting the base out for Zangief. Without damaging the figure. There we go. So yes, there we have Zangief in his mid-charge. Obviously they can't do him in mid-throw, but this looks like maybe just when he's about to go for an atomic buster, when he goes for the grapple. And you can see he's got all the scars across his entire body, which comes from wrestling bears, which is how Zangief became so powerful. Wrestling bears over in Russia. And I think at some point Zangief wrestles a shark, if I remember that correctly. I think he does the atomic buster on a shark, which is quite a hilarious thing to see. I'm vaguely remembering that from Death Battle when Zangief fights Hager. They both have very similar moveset. So let us try and go for Ken next. I think if we go for the base first, then the rest of the body should come. Ah, there we go. Because I didn't want to damage this fire effect here. Now Ken is very, very cool. As you can see, he's in the middle of the fire Shoryuken, which it looks like it's going straight up, so maybe this is supposed to be the Shinryuken, as opposed to the Shoryu Repa. And as you can see, there's actually space here between the foot and the base, so he's actually being entirely held up by this fire column at the side here, which is very, very cool to see that. Yeah. And once again, the artwork looks very, very nice. The modelling, the textures, colours, very well done. There's no mistakes here in any way, no paint flaws, so very good quality, and a very nice company that's made these. What was it? Jasco Games? Something like that. Not one I'm familiar with. And last but not least, of course, the main character of Street Fighter. It is Ryu. Ryu, who has no last name, although I have seen people calling him last names in the past, but similar to Joker, doesn't have an official last name. And here we have Ryu, obviously in the middle of the Hadoken, but I think this is meant to be the Metsu Hadoken, driven by the key energy that's all swiveling around the feet and being charged into it. And you can see there that he has the symbols on his belt and also on the glove. So, yep, exactly to the character. I think this was Street Fighter 4 that you started getting these little pieces of kanji written on them. Didn't have that in Street Fighter 3, I don't think. It's on the wooden platforms, which I presume is meant to be his own stage on top of the rooftop. So they've all got their own separate little base as well. I hadn't looked at this, but Zangief, you can see that he's standing on what looks like it's maybe supposed to be like steel, which of course he fights in the steel mill. Ken has the stone area from his area, which is he fights on the docks in front of the ship. Chun-Li, you've got the stone paving here, which of course comes from the China stage, where all the people are on bicycles in the background, and there's the person selling chickens and things. I presume that Sagat's one, this is Thailand, which is in front of the big, is it a Buddha statue? I think it's Buddha, lying on his side. And Vega, of course, from the steel cage area, which I think is meant to be like kind of like bullfighting area, but like in front of like a whole bunch of people. In Street Fighter V, they had a very cool idea of what it was meant to be. So I'm not going to put the figures away. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to put the rest of it away. We're going to leave the figures out so that we can compare the figures at the end. So let's put the rest of this away. So the dice goes in here. So player cards, the character cards, the other character cards, and of course the life counters. So you do get quite a lot for just the base version of the game, which is very nice to see that they are generous with that. That you see you do get an awful lot, and just from having these 6 characters, that's enough for you to play Street Fighter. But if you want to go even further beyond, then yes, you do have that ability. You have the ability to go out and purchase the other parts, which we'll be looking at in just a second. So let me just put this back in here. Do feel free to skip this part of the video if this is not entertaining for you, unless you enjoy listening to my random quibbles. Of course, the rulebook. And the rulebook is really big, you know, it's a good number of pages. What is it? 31 pages, as you can see there. So it's very nice that it's not just a very quick clean. And of course, the box. Right, so that can sit over here and we'll remove the characters for the time being. So the next logical thing to me seems like the next largely main state version. So I should explain that this was all on Kickstarter, that all this came from. I'm getting the map pack. The map pack was set in separately. It's not arrived yet. But these two, the main game and the boss expansion, both have this nice big box, which you could see being sold in stores. But the next parts are sort of cardboard expansion boxes, which you saw at the beginning. But let us take a look at the blurb on the back, as we always do. So once again, 14 plus versus 30 minutes, multiplayer, 15 minutes per player, 2 to 6 players, and here we are. So, Street Fighter, the miniatures game boss expansion, includes everything you need to introduce extremely powerful boss characters. This expansion also includes the boss mode game rules, in which one player controls the boss in a battle against a team of 3 rival players. The powerful boss decks can change the battlefield dramatically. It includes character-specific 40-card battle decks to make M. Bison and Akuma playable characters. Nemesis events can change effects if playing against your nemesis. And the contents are 1 rulebook, M. Bison miniature, Akuma miniature, 207 cards, which is a hell of a lot for 2 characters, 2 player dials, 1 double-sided game board, 1 Kyoso street, and 1 shopping district terrain. And includes 2 high-quality pre-painted miniatures. Once again, Capcom, Jasco, Angry Joe Show, not 3 sad onions, even though it says 14 plus up here in the corner, so that's a bit strange. But yes, let's get into it. So exactly the same as last time. Let us cut, slice. So let's just find a little gap and cut into it. Not yet. Let's try this side. That's what we did last time. All we're trying to get is an opening. That looks like it. Done. There we go. Scissors fell. So let us just shred this open in the same way that you would do with wrapping paper. And there we go, the wrapping paper has been removed, and Akuma and Bison have been released into the world. Not unlike the same way as opening Pandora's box. Let us give it a look-see. So once again, sealed quite tightly, as you can see. My goodness, I apologise, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. And we have the boss rulebook, so let's take a quick look at this. It is... oh, that's quite cool. That you've got the Shadowloo, Balrog, Vega, Sagat and Bison. What's a bit of information? It's all, once again, full colour. Shows you how to set up the maps. Well, that's cool. Akuma versus Goken, Nemesis mode. That's very cool that you can do that. This street is from Street Fighter Alpha. That's, I think, Gen stage. And Gen, of course, does fight Akuma. They are slightly rivals in that. And, oh, there's the images of everything you can get in the other expansion packs. So that's quite cool. So this one only 15 pages, but again, doesn't need to explain the entire game, just the boss modes. So, very good. Right, so let us see exactly what we have here. These are all the terrains. You can see that these are sort of darker trees with like lanterns in them. This one's very much the same again, and these are the shopping carts with the typical E-Honda colouring of blue and white. That's just a nice little piece there. Let's look at the map before we look at the rest of it. So once again, it opens up into 4 panels. So this one here is the shopping district. As you can see, it's quite massive. You've got the barber up at the top. Is this meant to be the sumo baths in the top right? Not sure. But yeah, quite cool. I think Gen's stage is meant to look similar to what his stage looked like in Street Fighter 1 as well. And on the other side, right. So I wasn't sure exactly what this was. I thought it might be the Australia stage that Ryu and Scat fought. But as you can see up here, it has the Oni statues in the corner. So this is indeed Akuma's little stage. So that is quite cool. I don't think the stages are meant to represent the characters as such. Maybe the map pack does that a little bit better. But let's see here. Oh, so this is very interesting. So the counters are specific for Akuma and Bison. So that's quite interesting to see, that you've got your own special versions of those. We have our own decks. So there's the Akuma one, there's the Bison. There's 2 Akuma. So one, it says move 3, health 22. The other one says move 4, health 40. So is this Shin Akuma? Is that what that's supposed to be? It says Wrath of the Raging Demon, which is of course the Shingoku Kusatsu. And Bison is Nightmare Booster, as opposed to the Cycle Crusher. Curious. So there we go, unless there's... right. Oh, maybe... Right, well, this Bison has 4 move and 40 health as well. So maybe these ones allow you to play the character just as a regular character, and these ones are the boss versions of them, like the Shin Akuma, the Shin Bison. So that's quite cool. So that means that you can just play as Akuma and Bison if you want. I assume, I don't know that for sure. And here are the boss challenges, which we're not going to open, but if we read this first one, while this card is in play, only the boss may use combo attacks, or may use combo actions. Attacks that are used as combo actions by the boss get +1 attack die. That sounds quite strong. So let us look at the very, very beautiful boss characters now, which I'm looking forward to these, because I think these are going to look quite a bit spectacular. So are you going to give me problems coming up? Right. There we go. We have Akuma. So as you can see, Akuma has the 2 waves of ki, the orange and blue, which is very cool. That's the red Hadoken. You can see like the face of Akuma is just red, you just go Misatsu. So yeah, that's very cool. And of course he has the heaven symbol, or the 10 symbol on his back, as he always does. So this is very, very nice. And I think if they wanted to make another boss expansion, then they could release a Shin Akuma and maybe have him in mid Shungoku Satsu. So let's look at his base. His base is just kind of like destroyed stone, which I think is meant to be, coincide with his actual character base. But that's very cool. I really like that if you want to just play as Akuma, it gives you the cards to just use Akuma as a regular character, rather than, like he's only available as a boss character. So that's really, really nice that they've done that. And now let us look at the Shadow Lu Master himself, the personification of the Psycho power. It is, of course, Bison, and his cape looks absolutely fantastic. It's got a very nice flowing motion. Face, again, I think could be done a little bit better, but the sculpt on the body and the the effects, just the Psycho power, like that really just makes up for it. You can't even question that. I feel like whoever it was that designed the models for these, they were possibly more of a body sculpt artist. I used to be a 3D animator, and we used to have different types. I was a character modeler, but went into animation, and ends up doing basically everything. Basically, you have to do everything at some point. But this is obviously not 3D animation, this is modelling, which is slightly different. But you can see they've got everything, you know, the belt, the muscles here. You can see the veins going up across here. Like, they've really just made everything look so fantastic. So if the face isn't terrible. I've seen worse. I just think that it could also be better, but then maybe I'm spoiled by Strong Collectibles, which give you amazing, amazing face sculpts. Arguably the best face sculpts in the business today. So let us take these two figures, we'll put them aside so that we can compare them all at the end. And we will put this away. So the Boss Bison one went in here, the other three went into here, and went into here. I don't think it matters the order. Bison Akuma. Put those down like that. And the bases. The rulebook. And we'll close it over. And there we go. So let's just move on to the first expansion pack. Now I think we'll leave the stretch goals until the end. So we'll go with the smaller ones. So let's go for Street Fighter 5 first. And as you can see, this is just a regular cardboard box, printed at the front of course. And how do we get into this? Does this just lift up here? Or does it come out the side? Well, I can see that there's an opening here, so let's try that. If I can get my finger in. Okay, so that part is done. Ah, right, okay, so it pulls out from the side as such. Okay. Let's see exactly what we have in here. Okay, this is a little bit more basic than what the previous ones have been, but that's okay. This is an expansion, not the full version. And this one comes with a plastic top. Keep your characters nice and protected. So let us see exactly what we have here. So this one doesn't come with any life counters, it only comes with the cards. So we have Laura, which is, well, all four of these are new to Street Fighter 5, apart from Charlie, who might be called Nash. Yeah, he's called Nash in this one. So we've got Laura with the Inazuma spin hold. We've got Rashid with the Altair. Nikeli with the Soul Offering, which Nikeli was a very strange character. He seemed to be imbued with the Satsui no Hado. I'm curious as to whether they're going to go anywhere with that, or if he's just going to be a one-game character. And Nash with the Judgment Saber. Of course, Nash was the friend of Guile, who got shot to pieces at the end of Street Fighter Alpha 3, I believe, while Guile was trying to look for him. Because Charlie Nash tried to take on Bison by himself. Did I say Akuma? I meant to say Bison. And he ends up losing, which isn't Guile's entire motive for wanting to take down Shadow. Right. So let's go for the easier to pull out one first, which is Laura. You can see she always reminds me a lot of Eddie from Tekken. So you can see that kind of like capoeira style. She's actually got the Rio, what's that called? You put over sewers? Sewer grate. Yeah. She's got the, you can't really see it that clearly, but she does have muscle definition on her stomach there. I can see it here, but the camera isn't picking it up that well. The hands are very well done. Very nice detailing on the outfit. Once again, you know, I really love, see this, I mean, you can see that it's see-through, it's translucent here, Very nice plastic. The face actually looks pretty okay on this one. Yeah, that looks decent. So, yeah, they're very nice. That is Laura. Let's move on to Rashid, who is the wind user. And you can see that he is on his little airball thing. I think maybe they were trying to take some influence from Avatar: The Last Airbender with this character. Maybe just a little bit. It's got a kind of metal base. Which isn't exactly like his stage in Street Fighter 5, so I'm not sure what that's all about. But let's look at the character. Oh, well, the model is actually really well designed. There's a little bit of scuff marks there. I don't think the white is particularly stayed well. You can see that especially on the legs, on the knees there. And this is directly out of the box. This is the first time that this has been opened. Not unless these marks are meant to be there. Like it's meant to be some kind of wear, but you don't really see it on the head so much, so I'm beginning to think maybe not. Backpack looks really well done. It's really nicely done. I don't think it's anything to complain about, but it's something to maybe look out for. If this would focus, you can see the detailing on the feet. So you can see that the toes are all individually sculpted, but not individually painted. A little bit of a weird thing going on with the ankles there as well. But once again, this translucent plastic effect is very, very nice. Very, very cool to see all the details there. So Rashid, yes, very nice. Let's go on to Nikeli next. I never really played as this character much. I didn't really like his playstyle, but I think the character himself is quite cool. This is him in his essentially Super Saiyan form, which he goes into when he gets the sort of max X Factor, max rage kind of thing in Street Fighter 5 that they introduced. And you can see that, yes, this is very reminiscent of Kotal Kahn. It's the sort of Aztec symbols at the bottom. And the character himself, it puts me in mind of Tekken 5 when you took on Azrael at the end. He was just this big sort of dragon type creature. Didn't really have much plot with the game of Tekken, but yeah, so Nikeli is a very, very cool character. I like that they gave him the Super Saiyan outfit rather than the normal outfit where he's got his hair down and it's sort of like dreadlocks and things. And obviously he can turn into oil, which is a rather strange ability. Or turn into some kind of liquid. Comes out of sort of darkness when he shows up. And he just seems to want to feast on Satsuki no Hado. So, very interesting character, very mysterious character. I don't think we know that much about him yet. And now, of course, let's look at Gail's good friend, Charlie Nash, which I'm going to be very careful with because this has a lot of things going on here that you can see. And, the last thing I want is for any of these parts to just break off. I'm so worried about this. His body's a little bit stuck in there. Oh, there we go. So, it's very interesting what they've decided to do with these waves here. I'm not actually sure what move this is supposed to be. From what I remember,